Hey guys, welcome back to Wentworth Life and welcome to the next installment of Prisoner Reviews. Now in this video I am going to be taking a look at Prisoner Cell Block H, episode 25, The Verdict. So in the last episode, Karen's retrial had started, and in this episode we continue on with Karen's trial and we also do get a verdict. But before we get to that, let's start with this ruthless barrister who ends up questioning Karen on the stand and pretty much paints a really bad picture for her, saying things like there is nobody around to back up her claims that her husband used to beat her and things like that, and for a moment there it really just doesn't look good for Karen. While the trial is taking place, Karen's mum is getting ready to leave with her new man for a better life, and as they jump into the car, she overhears what's happening during the trial on the radio, and her man friend, he ends up persuading her to go to the retrial and give evidence for her daughter, much to the surprise of pretty much everyone. So Karen's mum, she's questioned on the stand by Steve Wilson and then by that other ruthless guy. Now she ends up confirming that Karen's husband Wayne used to beat her on a regular basis. She goes as far to say that she remembers overhearing them having a massive argument on a specific date, and when the ruthless guy asks her how can she be so sure that she can remember this date, of the argument happening, she then replies saying that it's her birthday on this specific date, which totally puts the ruthless guy firmly in his place. By the time we get to the verdict, the judge ends up reducing Karen's sentence to just 2 years, and also taking away the time that she's already spent in prison, which of course is fantastic news. I'm pretty sure Karen will end up applying for parole in no time at all. Lynn Warner was in high spirits when she was heading out for her first day of work release in the garden nursery. But before she leaves, Lizzie tries to persuade Lynn to sneak back some alcohol. I mean, of course Lizzie would try her luck, why wouldn't she? But Lynn tells Lizzie that she can't blow it because this work release will determine the future for other work releases that may happen for other women. So Lynn goes to work and Mr. Butterfield gives Lynn a list of things to do before leaving her alone in the nursery. Like, sorry, you leave a new starter to work alone on her very first day. Not only that, but she's also a prisoner. That's just asking for trouble. Anyway, while Lynn is working, a customer arrives to buy a plant and he gives Lynn $40. Later on, when Mr. Butterfield arrives back, he asks Lynn where the money is for the plant, and she forgets that it's in her pocket and she ends up giving it to him. No trouble at all. But then Mr. Butterfield, he makes a crude joke at Lynn's expense and she ends up taking great offense against it and she runs off, and Mr. Butterfield just lets her run off into the woods. Why not? When Jean Vernon arrives to pick Lynn up, she is not happy that Lynn was left alone and then she, just ran off and nobody went after her. And Jean ends up letting Erica know, but she begs Erica not to tell the police just yet. Jean thinks that Lynn will just turn up when it's time to come back to the prison. So there's a little bit of concern for the rest of this episode. Will Lynn come back, or has she gone to live in the woods forever, eating nothing but berries? No. Lynn does return to the prison right at the very end of the episode, while Vera and another officer watch her return. You can definitely tell that Lynn is in for a big, massive bollocking, but has she messed up the whole work release for good? Well, we'll just have to wait and see. There was no Catherine Roberts in this episode. Now, I have remembered that her character does literally disappear out of the show, never to be seen again, but I can't remember when it happens. B did mention Catherine when she was having a chat with Karen in this episode, but Catherine was actually nowhere to be seen. So if she doesn't appear in the next episode or two, then I think it's safe to say her character has literally disappeared forever. I wonder why though. I'd love to know why. If any of you die-hard Prisoner fans know the reason for Catherine Roberts disappearing, then please let me know in the comments box below. There was a new character in this episode with no name. This woman ends up shoplifting from a store and she is then arrested and brought to Wentworth, but she refuses to give any of her name, her details. Vera ends up giving this woman a telling off for wasting everyone's time, but this woman, she still won't talk. Towards the end of the episode, Erica tells Meg that the police have found a match for the woman using her fingerprints, but we don't actually find any more out in this episode. Very intriguing. I think I do remember her and I remember the storyline. I'm pretty sure she's a Fruit Loop, but we'll just have to wait and see. Not very much else happened in this episode apart from a few comedy moments with Lizzie and Doreen and a naked man in a magazine that sends a shockwave of disgust in Vera's direction. Oh, and I spotted this creepy looking plant ornament thing with a face on it. Like, what the hell is that? What is it? It looks like Vera on a good day. Anyway, I think my favorite moment in this episode has to be Karen getting her charges reduced. It's been a very long-winded storyline, but I'm really glad that there's a happy ending to it. My least favorite moment has to be, I don't really have a least favorite moment from this episode. Maybe that ruthless guy, I didn't like him. Anyway guys, let me know in the comments box below what you thought of this episode and let me know if you were happy for Karen Travis. Right then, well, thank you all for watching today's video. The next Prisoner review should already be uploaded by the time you finish watching this one, so it won't be long before you see my smiling face again. Okay guys, well make sure you smash that subscribe button, stay safe, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.